Hi, Joseph Gallegos here with the UMITA AG. I'm going to talk about how to increase your land values with Sigma. So land values are all based in California on what that land can produce. And if for some reason water allocation starts to get cut dramatically, the revenue potential for that land goes down. So as more and more Sigma allocations get shrinking, there's less land that you can actually farm. So your value of your land starts to depreciate or go down because you can't produce so much revenue. So if I had 100 acres and I had to fallow 20% of that, that's a 20% reduction on my revenue. 30% fallow, not using that land, 30% reduction, so on and so on. It's almost like having an apartment building and not being able to rent 20% of my apartments. The CapEx on that valuation continually goes down. Here at UMITA AG, what we've emphasized is that you can use that same amount of water allocation. So let's say it's only 50% for 100 acres. So that means you would have to typically retire 50% of your acreage. But at UMITA, we're actually to be able to stretch that 50% and get the full 100% acreage in production. And the way we do that is that we provide a subsurface irrigation system that irrigates from the roots up and eliminates all the water loss to evaporation. Because of that, we save that anywhere from 30 to 50%. And then we also make up additional water back into the groundwater table in the winter months when there's storm water or when there's spring runoff. We're able to take additional waters and inject it into these pipes. Now, these pipes aren't small. This is actually a big civil engineering project. Pipes are 6 inches in diameter, which are much bigger than your cell phone if it's standing up high. And it's engineered so that way that the water flows across the whole landscape and creates this virtual water table 5 feet below the surface. And from that water table creates this moisture plume that the plants feed from. So it's a large CapEx or capital investment into your farm, but it secures the long-term viability of your orchard for many generations and adds an asset, and the valuation of your farm continues to go up in valuation as compared to a downward slope currently where we're looking at with Sigma. So what's unique about UMITA AG is that we help you get to Sigma compliant. That means you can actually take that to the bank and show, look, I am groundwater balanced. So my mortgage doesn't have to have this other valuation that you're applying to Sigma property or properties that are being discounted because of Sigma's constraints on water. You're going to be able to show, look, I'm pumping up what Sigma tells me I can pump up. It may be 30% reduction or 50% reduction, but I'm still keeping my full land in production. So my mortgage doesn't have to be discounted or has to be, or my operating income or my operating loans don't have to be readjusted to that new income level that everybody else is being subject to. So now you can also take that to your supply chain and show them that you have the acreage and you have the water availability to consistently supply them with the products that they desire. May it be almonds, peaches, apricots, cotton, whatever it may be. You can secure your supply chain and allow them to report back to their investors that they are secure for the inputs of the agricultural products to make their products. We know it's completely new, so it's scary, but 20 years ago, or no, actually in 1960, drip was new. It really started coming into California about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and people were scared of how drip was going to help their orchards. Now it's the standard. It's the same thing with us. We have a new category, a new style of irrigation, and it's going to be scary in the beginning, but the leaders who adopt it early are going to be ahead of the curve. Think of it as an opportunity to invest in your farm for upward potential, or you can just sit and just wait till how Sigma plays out, and most likely it's going to be a negative to the valuation. I hope that helps out. I hope that encourages you to look at our website and see our technology. Thanks.